Honorable Idem, you on the second. Your mic. Mic. Honorable Legislature, yeah, go ahead. Your mic. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Taufik Abimbola Ajilesoro. I representing the good people of Ife Federal Constituency in Osun State. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the source. I stand to support the motion, to second the motions as moved by my leaders, Honorable Isiaka, also second. Thank you.
Straightforward. What was your prayer? Repeat your prayers. Your mic. You need to press your.
Okay. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Speaker. Owing to the fact that we have too many ad hoc, the prayer I've moved is that the House do set up a special committee of the House, which will include that of the leadership, that the principal officers and other eminent personalities among the members. And prayer one, for them to launch an investigative hearing with all critical stakeholders in the country and carry out the root cause analysis on the rising cost of living in the country. Then two, to initiate policies needed for addressing the skyrocketing prices, especially that of food, goods, and services in the country. Three, engagement with captain of industries, trade union associations. Sir? Okay. Board of Directors, Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, and other promoters in the economic sector on ways for drastic reduction in the prices of goods and services in the country, and then to adopt any other strategies that can mitigate the effect of the current inflation in the country. And lastly, Committee on Compliance to ensure compliance with this prayer and resolution of the House. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Elumelu.
I have thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Oshimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, since the essence of the motion is to investigate, I think I would rather that we'll step down after one. The others should be added together to that number one. Let it just be the terms of reference of what they are going to do, that when they are sitting, they will look at how to ensure that the committee can look at what has informed increase in prices, plus inflationary increase in our nation, and other issues. And also those who will participate in that investigative hearing will be those captains of industry. So you don't really need to put it in the prayer. So my prayer is that only one should stay while the other ones are deleted. That is my prayer.
Okay, why don't we, you are saying that it should be part of the terms of reference.
Yes.
But what if it is not? Why don't we just say, leave that prayer one as the only prayer, yes, and say to investigate, amongst other things, the following.
Yeah, we'll add them up.
The prayer should be, Honorable Isiaka, number one, what Honorable Lumelu is saying is that the prayer should only be number one, to investigate, but I'm saying, and then just add, amongst other things, the following, and then...
Let me read it.
Yes.
Launch an investigative hearing with all critical stakeholders in the country and carry out root causes analysis on the rising cost of living, as well as refer to issues that borders on policies needed for addressing the skyrocketing prices of goods and services while engaging. So engaging the captains of industry. So it's embedded in one prayer.
So you are saying the first prayer is all encompassing.
Yes, we'll add all of them together instead of having double prayer.
So delete the others and add all of them together.
Yes.
Second, Honorable Munir. Are you seconding?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Munir Babadan Agundi. I represent Kumbota Federal Constituency of Kano State. I rise to second the amendment heavily moved by my colleague.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. You said you have an amendment?
Yes, it's just to remind us that he has just discussed the issue of policy. And also let us look at the interventions.
Yeah, it's all part of the amendment.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Represent an area of Wajiriba Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I understand the intent of the motion and the prayer, but I believe that I think it's too global. The motion is a bit too global to investigate policies or factors leading to the challenges we have in the economy. I would have thought that...
Was it the economy, he said, or the prices of commodities? And it's not the economy.
Well, Mr. Speaker, a lot of factors could lead to... I believe that it should be targeted towards a particular issue. Is it the borrowing we are doing? Is it
No. You are the one expanding his motion.
No, but I want to...
His motion is about skyrocketing food prices, commodities, and the rest of it, to investigate it and find out the root cause of why. It may lead to what you are saying, but his motion is very narrow. It's not wide. It's not about the economy.
Well, skyrocketing prices.
Honorable Kiru said it's village, not global.
So I don't just really, I can't place it really.
You want to read your prayer again?
Where?
You want to read your prayer again, your first prayer? Honorable Saka, read the first prayer again so I'll get a better understanding. The first prayer, read your... No, so that Honorable Toby will understand what the motion is about. It's narrow, it's a straight-jacketed motion. Okay, Honorable Elumelu can read it, since he has it.
What we have done is to say launch an investigative hearing with all critical stakeholders in the country, such as captains of industries, trade unions, associations, board of directors, manufacturers association of Nigeria, and other promoters in the economic sector on ways for drastic reduction in prices of goods and services in the country.
Prices of goods and services. What was the title of the motion?
Urgent need to investigate the skyrocketing prices of commodities.
All right. Any other amendment? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Ben Rolands Igbakwa. I represent Ethiop East, Ethiop West, and by the special grace of God, we're from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, out there, we seem to be putting up too many committees because this is a direct result of government policy. It's a failure of government to attend to the people. And where you have not invested, Mr. Speaker, you cannot control. And since we don't have anything like price control, because government has not given the right frame and environment for industry and production to thrive, I don't think we have any business that we want to investigate. What are we investigating? Every common man on the street knows the reason. Where you are consuming and you are not producing. Where you are importing and you are not exporting. Mr. Speaker, I think what should be looking at is to see how we can increase our internal production to be self-sustainers, even if we cannot export to other countries. So I don't see the need for any committee and any investigation. We all know, let us tell government, the executive arm of government, to provide the right frame for business to thrive so that our people can produce and be self-sustainable in Nigeria. I think that is my own contribution. I don't see any need for this long investigation and committee that we are setting up. Thank you.
Honorable Abejide.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency, honorable colleagues. I believe that we all know that production is economic development. So we all know that. We should not assume that we don't know. But what this motion is trying to do is to know exactly what is wrong in the skyrocketing of prices of goods and services, especially the agro-produce in the country. It's not that we don't know that there are problems with farmers. It's not that we are not aware that factories are not producing because of lack of electricity. We are aware of all these ones. But there are some problems that when the investigation is carried out, that we are going to get, apart from all this one that is known to all of us. That's why I believe that these motions should be allowed to go. The way Honorable Ben said, yes, we know consumption is a function of income. And if you don't produce, your income is not, you cannot even get any income. That one is known to all of us. Either you are an economist or you are a medical doctor. In this country today, we all know this one. But there are some problems inherently that except you do investigation, we cannot get them.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Munir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable colleagues, let us remind us that this motion is very important. This government has done a lot of interventions, in terms of interventions in the agri sector. But the issue is whether those interventions have gone to the right people or to the right place is another thing that this motion will look at it and see and bring out the anomalies in it. And then also we have the COVID-19, which has added to the problem, not only in Nigeria, all over the world. So we need to come up with some problems that we have not known before so that we address them in this. This motion is very important. And we have issues of insecurity. Then we have interventions in terms of flooding, whether the money given to the farmers who have lost their livelihoods in the flooding areas of the country is another thing that we have to look at it. So this motion is very important, and this is the time for it so that we can address the whole issue in terms of why we are having skyrocketing prices in the country. So these are my points, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Salami, your time is off.
Yes, let's put the question. Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay.
The ayes have it.
The special committee to investigate will be led by Honorable Akpata Singh, since you were talking about having all principal officers, but we just have one principal officer to lead that special committee, Honorable Akpata Singh, Honorable Igariwe, Honorable Bamishile, Honorable Zana, Honorable Mansour, Honorable John Deere, Honorable Kolawole Lawal, Honorable Isiaka, Honorable Ogunlola, Bolaji Yusuf, Honorable Salame, Honorable Dederi, Honorable Munir, Honorable Badru, and Honorable Prince Obi, and Honorable Sani Maruf. Honorable, I saw Honorable Mansour a minute ago. Honorable, yes, there you are. Okay, yes, sorry about your loss. The last couple of days, Honorable Mansour lost his brother. I think it's proper that we rise for 1 minute and have somebody say a short prayer. Honorable Munir, please give us a short prayer.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Amen. Amen. May his soul rest in peace. Members, the first business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committee investigating the governing list of federal government-owned assets. Standing in the name of Honorable Daniel Asuko, honorable members will recall that the proposal was referred to the committee on Monday, 20th of December 2020. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Asuko may present his report.
Speaker, distinguished colleagues, Honorable Daniel Atsuko, I represent Akam Kwabi as a federal constituency, and I'm from Cross River State. I move a motion to lay the interim report of the ad hoc committee investigating the governing list of federal government-owned assets. I so move.
Any seconder, please. Honorable John Deere.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, John Deere, Benue State, Bokota, Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Dan Asuko. Honorable Dan Asuko. I so second.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Honorable Asuko, please lay your report. First order of the day is consolidation of two bills. Honorable members may wish to know that the bills are of the same subject matter, and I invite the Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, to move that the bills be consolidated. Honorable Kuya. Consolidation of bills. Oh, no.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, we have before the House the consolidation of bill, a bill for an act to establish Entrepreneurship Development Bank of Nigeria and to charge it to the responsibility, among other things, to provide medium and long-term finance for indigenous small businesses and for related matters. Numbered HB 188, and a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Entrepreneurship Development Bank to provide for establishment of Nigerian entrepreneurship development, encourage aspiring entrepreneurs and small-scale enterprises in Nigeria, and for related matters, HB 1386 by Honorable Olalekan Rashid Afolabi. I hereby move for the consolidation of the two bills. I so move, sir.
Honorable Abiante. Honorable Abiante, take your leave.
Those in favor, please say aye. Well, has it been seconded? No, we need to second. No, we didn't second. Yes. Any seconder? Honorable JJ Jimo, please second.
The Lagos State, I stand to second the motion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Committee on Rules, please schedule a date for the commencement of debate. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education, Omuo in Ekiti State, and for related matters standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate, seeking record. I thought we said we should step all these things down until we clarify, the two clerks clarify what's going on with concurrence. Why are we having concurrence on the other paper again? Huh? Who's not here? Yeah, but the deputy is here. Who is here? Huh? Is the leader of the House here to take this concurrence bill? Deputy Leader, can you please step down? All three.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Ademori Kuye. I represent Shomolu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, in view of the information at our disposal because of the access of the leadership, part of the leadership of the House, and due to the fact that many of the members have pointed out that they are not yet in receipt of most of these bills, I humbly apply that items number 2, 3, 4 be stepped down.
Items 2, 3, 4 step down until the House Leader comes back to move the bill. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Third Alteration Act 2011 to provide for establishment of the Code of Conduct Tribunal as part of the judicature under the Constitution in order to ensure its independence and for related matters stand in the name of Honorable Solomon T. Bob and Honorable Olajide Olatubosun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, July 2020. And I invite Honorable Bob to move that the bill will now read the second time. Is Honorable Bob here? Honorable Olatubosun here? Step down. Honorable Kuye, they're not here. Please step the bill down.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Ademori Kuye, representing Shomolu Federal Constituency, I humbly apply for the step down of a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and to provide for establishment of Code of Conduct Tribunal. I so move for the step down.
Bill step down. Sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals to regulate the activities of members of the profession and for related matters stand in the name of Honorable Jimo Abdulrahim Olajide. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 6 July 2021, and I invite Honorable Olajide to move that the bill read the second time.
Jimo Abdulrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I stand to move the bill number 6 on order paper, a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals to regulate activities of members of the profession and for related matters. I so move, sir.
Any seconder? Okay. Honorable Yemi Ali. No, not you. I was going to go between Honorable Yemi Ali or Honorable Gani. Okay, Honorable Yemi Ali. Since you are already up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ali Adeyemi Taufik is my name. I stand to second the bill being read for the second time as moved by my brother and colleague, Honorable J.J. Jimo. I so second. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Jimo, please lead the debate just for a minute.
That on the first day this bill was being listed and gazetted on the 16th of July 2019. The bill consists of 19 sections and 3 schedules. The objective of the bill is to establish a legal framework for the purpose of clarity, transparency, efficiency, and effectiveness in the profession, and also to determine what standard of knowledge and skill are to be attained by the person seeking to become chartered member of that institute, and to build capacity for the purpose of potentials and capability. The significance of this bill can never be overemphasized, and to this end is to improve the finance industry and any related matter to make proper regulatory provisions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Anyone opposing this? Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals to regulate the activities of members of the profession and for related matters. Second reading.
The bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to provide a legal framework for establishment of national roots and tubers production, processing and research institutes.
Honorable Gwale,
Taraba State.
Honorable Gwale, Honorable Waba,
And for related
Salami,
matters, standing in the name of
Honorable Kingsley Uju.
Kasimu Bello Maigari.
Please
Honorable
take your seats,
We
please.
recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 14th
Please don't
July
distract the
2021.
speaker. Take your seats,
And I
please.
invite Honorable
Honorable
Maigari
Waba,
to
Honorable
move that the
Waba,
bill will now read a second
Kingsley
time.
Uju,
Honorable Maigari.
Gwale Federal Constituency.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Waba, hearing Waba, please. Don't set a very wrong precedent. Take your seat first.
Kasimu Bello Maigaria, my names. I speak for the entire people of Jalingo,
Dr.
Yoros in Federal
Take your seat, Dr.
Constituency.
Pascal. Take your seat.
I stand to move a bill for an act to establish the National Roots and Tuber Production, Processing and Research Institutes in Taraba State and for other related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Pascal, please second. Dr. Pascal. Pascal, please second. Second. And refer to what you are seconding. Clap. Let me call Mohammed.
Okay.
Mohammed, let me call him.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my noble colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I remain Honorable Dr. Pascal Chigozie Obi. I represent the very great and amiable people of Idata North, Idata South Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State, the Eastern Heartlands. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second
the motion for a bill for an act to provide a legal framework for the establishment of National Roots and Timbers Production, Processing and Research Institute, Zinc, Taraba State, and for related matters, as ably moved by my colleague.
The one moved by, I'm talking about the motion moved by Honorable Jimo. Yes?
Honorable Jimo.
Okay. That's what you are seconding.
Okay. I have a second motion for that be read by Honorable, ably moved by Honorable Jimo. No.
That's the sixth. That's number 6. Number 7.
No, number 7 now. As ably moved by Honorable Kasimu Bello, my Gary.
All right.
I hereby second, Mr.
Thank you very much. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Don't worry, Honorable Pascal, I understand you were distracted. Don't worry. The same way I will have been distracted all day. You were distracted, so I understand. The 8th order of the, clerk, please read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide a legal framework for establishment of National Roots and Tubers Production, Processing and Research Institute, Zinc, Taraba State, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions. The 8th order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Decontamination Center within each of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria charged with the responsibility of cleaning, disinfecting, and sterilization of medical devices and instruments prior to reuse with a view to preventing transmission of latrogenic infection, also called hospital-acquired infection, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Ajile Shoro Taufik Abimbola. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 10th December 2019, and I invite Honorable Abimbola to move that the bill will now read a second time.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Clerk, Honorable Ajile Shoro was the seconder of the earlier motion moved by Honorable Isiaka, so he's part of the committee that was set up. So you add his name, yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that. Mr. Speaker, my leaders, my honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Taufik Abimbola Ajilesoro, and I represent the good people of Ife Federal Constituency in Osun State. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the source, the origin of the black race.
It's Honorable Taufik Ajilesoro Abimbola. Did you get the name? And Honorable Abiante.
Mr. Speaker, I stand
Go ahead.
to move the bills of an act to establish decontamination centers within each of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria with the responsibility of cleaning, disinfecting, and sterilization of medical devices and instruments prior to reuse with a view to preventing transmission of latrogenic infection, also called hospital-acquired infection, and for related purposes, 2019 HB 5.
Honorable Pascal.
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
You may approach the chair. With the kind permission of the whip. Seconder. Your mic is, okay, no, that's Honorable Bamidele's mic. Go ahead, Honorable Ayeni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Lawrence Babatunde Ayeni. I represent the good people of Ilesha West, Ilesha East, Atakumosa West, Atakumosa East, Osun State. I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague, Honorable Ajin Soro. I second.
Okay, straightforward. The clerk, those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the contamination center within each of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, charged with responsibility of cleaning, disinfecting, and sterilization of medical devices and instruments prior to reuse, with a view to preventing transmission of iatrogenic infection, also called hospital-acquired infection, and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on Health Services. Honorable colleagues, I have the pleasure to invite all members. I have an invitation here from Honorable His Excellency Senator Wele Anayo Rocha Sokorocha, who will be celebrating his 59th birthday. And part of the celebration, he'll be having an event at the International Conference Center with the theme Promoting Unity and Peaceful Coexistence Through Education. We all know Honorable Senator Okorocha is a major contributor to the education sector in Nigeria, and in marking his 59th birthday, he has quite appropriately chosen to do this seminar at the International Conference Center with the theme Promoting Unity and Peaceful Coexistence Through Education. The time is at 4 p.m. Date is 30th of September 2021, which is tomorrow. That's the invitation, and I'll encourage members to attend. It's an open invitation to members of the House. Thank you. The ninth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Notaries Public Act, Cap N141, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to review upward the penalty imposed by malfeasance and other offenses under the Act, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Sergius Ogun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 10 December 2019, and I invite Honorable Ogun to move that the bill be now read the second time.
I represent Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast, and I'm from Edo State. I rise to move that the bill for an act to amend the Notaries Public Act, Cap N141, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to review upward the penalty imposed for malfeasance and other offenses under the Act and for related matters, be read for a second time. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Benson, please second. What is that, Honorable Ganiu? Honorable Ganiu, please face the chair. Honorable Benson, please second.
Sadao Kiyari, the Agba Akin of Ekpeland. I rise, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the bill for an act to amend the Notaries Public Act. I so move.
As moved by Honorable Olabi, do you mind?
As
Can you?
moved by my good friend from Edo, Segios, Honorable Segios.
Honorable Olabi, Honorable Ganio, please, next time you face the chair, you don't need to help anybody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, welcome. Honorable Sejos.
East and Northeast, East and Southeast, and from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, this is a very straightforward bill. It's an amendment of the Notaries Act of 1936.
Just tell us what's wrong with the Notaries Act as is and what you seek to amend.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, the plan is to amend just two sections, Section 15 and Section 16. Section 15 says that an offense and conviction to imprisonment for a term of 2 years. So we are amending this section to be 7 years. And then Section 16 says that a conviction of a fine of 100 naira. So we are amending it to be 500,000 naira.
Okay. Awesome.
And imprisonment for a term of, the old bill says a term of 4 months. We are amending that to be a term of 3 years.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you very much. Honorable Benson, 30 seconds. Just your contribution.
Agbakin of Ekpeland. Honorable colleagues, this bill could not have come at a better time. Increasing from 500,000 and to the proposed new amount is a step in the right direction.
Well, is increasing from 500 to what?
Eh? Sorry, increasing from 100 to 500 was a slip of tongue.
From 100 what?
100,000 naira to 500,000 naira. It's a step in the right direction, Mr.
What
Speaker.
about do you agree with the imprisonment term that he just mentioned?
The imprisonment term?
Imprisonment, yes.
I also agree with Mr.
What
Speaker.
was it?
I missed that.
You missed it?
Yes, but I trust Honorable Sagios. He's a detribalized Nigerian. He's one who promotes equity and justice. And he will never say something that will be to the detriment of Nigerians, Mr. Speaker.
What Honorable Sergio said was that there should be no imprisonment at all. That's all he said. Are you in agreement?
I missed that, Mr. Speaker.
But are you in agreement with that? I'm telling you what he said.
I'm in agreement with the increment of fine, sir.
What about the jail time that he said we should abolish?
I will go and do further research on that, and we'll be able to revert to you accordingly, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
For your information, he wanted it changed from 4 months imprisonment. For your information. Yeah, I called on you because you're a lawyer. You should know about notary public, but unfortunately, you are being distracted over there. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Yes, clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Notaries Public Act, Cap N141, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to review upward the penalty imposed for malfeasance and other offenses under the Act, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Justice. The 10th order of the day is motion on need to investigate alleged extortions and sundry charges on air freighting and agro-export businesses in Nigeria. Stand in the name of Honorable Toby Okechukwu. Honorable Okechukwu is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Toby Okechukwu. I represent Aneri of Wojiriba Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, this motion is on the need to investigate alleged extortions and sundry charges on air freighting and agro-export business in Nigeria. This malfeasance is being sponsored by myself and my other colleagues, Henry Wanwoba, Honorable Gaza Jonathan, Honorable Nolin Naji, and Honorable Nasir Ali Ahmed. The House notes the federal government's interest in economic diversification and promotion of non-oil exports. The House also notes that Nigeria is a signatory to various regional, continental, and global trade arrangements such as the African Continental Free Trade Area. The House further notes the investigative report in the September 23rd, 2021 edition of the Guardian newspaper, which alleged that foreign cargo airlines were departing Nigeria empty due to extortion and multiple charges. The House is cognizant of Nigeria's huge agro-export potential, with 22 non-oil exports worth over $150 billion in export value, yearly already penciled in the new export promotion program of the federal government. The House is aware that export is supposed to be free in Nigeria under extant laws and regulations, except for airlines charges and payments to ground handlers. The House is worried by the recent reports that 11 out of the 16 sundry charges lined up against air cargo are illegal, and that official bottlenecks, extortion, exorbitant and multiple charges are discouraging cargo airlines from operating in Nigeria as they prefer cargoes from other African countries, which offer them more favorable conditions. The House is concerned about Nigeria's import to export air freight ratio imbalance, which is estimated at 87 to 13, and also that Nigeria's agro-allied market potential, worth over $250 billion, is wasting away, while local exporters are fast abandoning the multi-billion dollars worth agro-export businesses. The House resolves: 1, condemn all charges and actions that are debilitating air cargo exports in Nigeria. 2, mandate the House committees on finance, aviation, agricultural production and services to investigate the issues adversely affecting air cargo freighting in Nigeria and report back within 2 weeks for further legislative action. I so move.
Honorable Olabi.
The Saraki Yauri and Agbake of Pepeland. My name is Honorable James Adisa Olabi, representing the good people of Ibakoja in Lagos State. I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my honorable colleagues. Thank you, sir.
Amendment, yes. Honorable Elumelu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndidi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Shimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. My amendment is to the effect that we delete prayer 1. If they are investigating, there is no need for us to rush to judgment and begin to condemn. So remove prayer 1 and let only prayer 2 stay alone. I so move.
Honorable Toby, do you want a second?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Toby Okechukwu representing an area of Boji River Federal Constituency. I stand to support my leader in his good judgment.
In deleting your prayers?
Yes, in deleting one of my prayers.
All right.
He's a good leader.
Yes. Those in support, please say aye. Those against the amendment, please say no. The ayes have it. Amendment Leke, Dr. Leke Afejide.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I want to amend prayer 2 to read mandate the Committee on Customs and Excise. Because Customs is the lead agency in all the ports, both the seaports, the airports, and border stations. So, and this one has to do with export. It's not the issue of revenue. What is affected here is the effects, the foreign exchange, which is an injection into the economy. So I want to suggest that customs will be the lead committee that will do this job. This is just my amendment.
All right. Honorable Toby.
And sorry, sir, I just want to add that, and all other agencies under single window. There's a window when you want to do export or import. Once you click on it, you will see all those agencies. You will see all those agencies that are accused, because I read the paper too, like SON, you will see NAFDAC, you see NDLA, you see police. Those ones that are legally allowed to operate at the port, they are under the single window.
Honorable Toby. Because I know you did the research, that's why I'm asking. It's a way of asking if you are in agreement, yes. If you want a second.
You mean my second?
Do you want a second, or do you have
Yeah, I think
an opinion on what you just said?
Honorable Leke is, I think his amendment is,
Okay.
it should be one of the committees.
Okay. So those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Do we put the question? Those in support of the... Do you have an amendment? Shamshuddin. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Shamsuddin Bello Dambazo. I represent Taka Ismaila Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment concerns the motion directly. The fact that it is there's extortion, which becomes a financial crime. I think who is doing the extortion and where the money is going. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Wauba.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Henry Wauba, Mbitoli, Kedru Federal Constituency. Just to clarify to my honorable colleague, the word extortion there refers to the overlapping mandates. When you look at extortion from the ICPC perspective, when you look at extortion from the corruption perspective, you are talking about corrupt practices. Here, what we're dealing with is multiplicity of charges. So what the committee will be doing is harnessing inputs to make sure they streamline the activities relating to the subject matter so that we can reverse this ugly trend. The objective is to make those cargo airlines to leave Nigeria carrying cargo. The extortion that was used in the body of the motion specifically sees multiplicity of charges as an overbearing or an excessive charge, and hence the word extortion. It's not a corrupt practice per se. Some of those charges probably have been listed in the single window as elaborated by Honorable Leke, but we want to ensure that we just do things in this country in line with global best practices. Because after all, airline business is a global industry.
Thank you.
So you are saying that extortion was used in a different context in this motion, but you will admit that you agree that extortion, however it is used, means actually does connote. It's a crime, it's corruption, but not in this context. So maybe it is the language. Maybe we should have used another. Extortion is there's no way to color it. It's not. It's a crime, but it's not relevant in that. In this, that's what he's saying. Honorable Shamsi, do you understand what he's saying? Yes, I think it's just that we can't even amend the body of the.
Yes.
We cannot amend the body. Or was that extortion used in the prayer or in the body?
Extortion was used in the. No, it wasn't used in the prayer.
It was in the body.
It was used in the motion.
So at least it's been noted that extortion, that's not what they meant by extortion. So yeah, you can just step it down or withdraw it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, so those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Yeah, ayes have it. The 11th order of the day is a motion on need to enforce compulsory teaching of moral lessons and orientation subjects, courses in Nigeria's educational curricula. Stand in the name of Honorable Uju Kingsley Chima. Honorable Chima, please move your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name remains Honorable Uju Kingsley Chima, member representing Ohajioma Oguta, Oru West Federal Constituency of Imo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion on the need to enforce compulsory teaching of moral lessons and orientation subjects and courses in Nigeria's educational curriculum. The House notes that the good morals and proper orientation are indisputable basic components of child upbringing and training. Thus, a lack of it, especially in young people, will result in societal decay. Records that moral instructions was a compulsory subject in Nigerian schools curriculum in the past. Worried that due to the removal of moral instructions from school system, the current generation of youth lacks the benefits of such lessons and may end up as nuisance in the society. Cognizant that with the increasing rate of violence and various forms of immorality in recent times, the need for reintroduction and enforcement of the teaching of moral lessons and orientation subjects and courses in primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions cannot be overemphasized. Also cognizant that the reintroduction of moral lessons and proper orientation will keep rebuilding good morality in the younger generation and provide proper orientation for future generations. Results to one, all the federal ministries of education, youth and sports development, the National Orientation Agency, and other relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to collaborate with a view to reintroducing moral instructions as a compulsory subject in the school curriculum, as well as develop effective orientation for the school system. 2, mandate the committees on basic education and services, tertiary education and services, and youth development to ensure compliance. I so move. Thank you very much.
Honorable Taiwo Adeole.
Mr. Speaker, Oluyemi Adeole Taiwo is my name. I represent the Barapa East Ido Federal Constituency area of Oyo State. I hereby stand to second the motion assembly moved by Honorable Uju Kingsley. Thank you.
Yeah, does anybody want to speak against? Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 12th order of the day is a motion on need to look into the debt crisis in the aviation industry, standing in the name of Honorable Ali Adeyemi Taufik. Honorable Taufik is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, Ali Adeyemi Taufik is my name. I stand in for Mushin 1 Federal Constituency in Lagos. The motion before me this day, the motion need to look into the debt crisis in the aviation industry. I, Honorable Ali Adeyemi, I stand to move the motion. The knows that the aviation industry plays a pivotal role in providing a rapid worldwide transportation network, which makes it essential for global activities. Also note that the industry generates economic growth, creates employment, and facilitates international trade and tourism and other essential services like defense. Also aware that the Nigerian government has invested massively in the aviation sector, thereby heightening the expectation of stakeholders. Informed that the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, had raised concerns over billions of naira debts hold agencies like Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, by airlines operators. They stated that the debt claims and counterclaims as misleading, unprofessional, unethical, and strongly deviate from the tenets of transparency and accountability. Cognizant that the debt claims, cognizant of the need to investigate the debt crisis in the aviation industry and other related matters to strengthen the records and provide lasting solution to the debt crisis in the industry. The House resolved mandate the Committee on Aviation to investigate claims and counterclaims regarding the issues of the debt within 6 weeks and report back for further investigative action. I so move. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Osby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Gonos. I represent the group people of Hunkwere, Isu, Wangalaminjaba Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, from Imo State. Right, Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion as moved by my brother, Honorable Adeyemi.
Thank you. Once again, sympathies for the loss of your father. May so rest in peace. Honorable Adeyemi, I think that was straightforward. We'll just put the question. Those in support, please say. Oh, you want to add something? You want to add something? Just a minute, right? You want to say something? You want to use your hand to kill your own motion? Those in support, please say aye. Those against, you say nay. Ayes have it. The 13th order of the day is a motion on need to curb illegal mining in Ijesha land, Osun State. Honorable Ayeni, I thought this was state of Osun. It's Osun State. Eh? Okay. The 13th order of the day is a motion on need to curb illegal mining in Ijesha land, Osun State, standing in the name of Honorable Lawrence Babatunde Ayeni. Honorable Ayeni is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Lawrence Babatunde Ayeni. I represent Ilesha West, Ilesha East, Atakwonsa West, Atakwonsa East, Osun State. I'm here to place a motion on the need to curb illegal mining in Ijesha land, Osun State. Note that the Nigeria Minerals and Mining Act was passed into law on March 16, 2007. to regulate the exploration and exploitation of solid minerals in Nigeria. Also note that the Act first the control of the properties and the minerals in Nigeria in the state and prohibits unauthorized exploration or exploitation of minerals. Observe that under the Land Use Act, all lands in which minerals have been found in commercial quantities are acquired by the federal government, and that any property with mineral resources shall pass from the government to the person by whom the mineral resources are lawfully won upon their recovery. Concerned about reported cases of illegal mining activities going on in the South Federal constituency in Osun State. Aware that Ilesha, which is part of Ijesha land, is known to have large deposits of gold, commercial quantities, and other minerals in considerable proportions. Worried that over the past few years, certain individuals and unverified complaints have embarked on exploration activities across Ijesha land, and the activities have caused untold hardship to the villagers who have been forcibly displaced and dispossessed of their lands by the miners. Also worried that excavation of the area may expose the people to environmental hazard, natural disasters such as landslide, earthquake, erosion, formation of sinkholes, loss of biodiversity, and contamination of soil, groundwater, and surface water by chemical release during the mining processes. Disturbed that if necessary measures are not put in place to check illegal mining, it may result in the breakdown of law and order as the original inhabitants of Ijesha land who have been deprived access to their heritage may embark on self-help to recover their lands. Resolved to mandate the Committee on Solid Minerals Development to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Mines and State Development to ascertain the authorized and licensed miners within the Ijesha South Federal Constituency and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action. I so moved.
Thank you, Honorable Ayeni. Very, very important motion. Who can second this for us? Yes, Honorable Agusoye, please second the motion. Honorable Agusoye. Oh, yeah, you want the second from here? Go to your seat.
Go. Be guided.
Mic. Put on your mic. Okay, Honorable Agusoye, we can't wait for you. We can't wait for Honorable Agusoye. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Amabinu Sakidola. I speak for Ayedre Wonalwa Federal Constituency and from Osun State. I rise to second the motion. Ably moved by my honorable colleague. I still second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a very good motion, but very straightforward. No need to debate it. Thank you, Honorable Ayeni. Those in support, please say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. The 14th order of the day is a motion on need to fund the completion of the Federal Medical Center, Makurdi, Benue State, standing in the name of Honorable Mzondu Benjamin. Honorable Ben is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues. My name is Benjamin Bem Mzondu. I speak for the people of Makudi, Goma. Mr. Speaker, we are from Benue State. I also speak for the teeming unemployed youths in this hallowed chamber. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise this afternoon to bring a motion on the need to fund the completion of the Federal Medical Center, Makurdi, the Benue State capital. The House notes that the Federal Medical Center, Makurdi, Benue State, was established in 1995 in line with the federal government policy to provide for at least one tertiary healthcare center in each state of the Federation that does not have a federal university teaching hospital. The House is aware that there are over 22 federal medical centers all over the country as a general policy. Most of the centers are situated in the state capital.
Honorable Chris Azubogu, there is a standing order that thou shall not approach the speaker.
Especially where the apex secondary health institution.
Chief Whip, please, can you permit Honorable Azubogu for a second? You can time him. 1 minute. Please allow him to come in.
Chris Azubogu.
I take that paragraph again. The House is aware that there are over 22 federal medical centers all over the country, and as a general policy, most of them are situated in the state capital, especially where the apex secondary healthcare institution being run by the state does not adequately meet the demands for specialist healthcare for the citizenry. The House is also aware that the Federal Medical Center Makurdi is the only federal government-owned tertiary health facility in the state that renders medical service to neighboring states and is currently being housed in 5 different locations across Makurdi, the state capital, as a result of inadequate funding to complete the permanent site, a development that has made its operation very difficult, cumbersome, and expensive. The House is further aware that Makurdi is a transit capital that links the northern part of the country and the southern part of the country, and therefore handles enormous cases of accidents resulting from traffic volume on that corridor, and hence the need to relocate the hospital to its permanent site to effectively enhance its proper management and operational activities. The House is worried that medical facilities in Benue State are already overstretched as a result of the...
Yeah. You've cleared with the Chief Whip. Yeah. Go ahead.
The House is further aware that medical facilities in Benue State are already overstretched as a result of the recurring clashes, hence the need for the federal government to release funds to enable the Federal Medical Center relocate to its permanent site. Cognizant that operating the Federal Medical Center Makurdi is becoming a huge challenge to effective delivery of health services to Nigerians from different states across the state capital. Also cognizant that unless the federal government takes urgent steps by releasing funds for the completion of the permanent site, more lives will continue to be lost and people will continue to suffer this hardship. The House observed that the current facilities, buildings housing the center, especially the one at Atiku Abubakar Road, has existed for over 70 years, as it was formerly a general hospital building whose architectural designs were meant to house a federal medical center are now obsolete and dilapidated. I therefore urge the House to resolve: 1, urge the Federal Ministry of Health to include the funding of the Federal Medical Center Makurdi in the 2022 budget estimates. And 2, also mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move.
Honorable Francis.
Makodi.
Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, my name is Francis Charles Uduyo. I represent the Koravas in Paranin, Eastern Obolo Federal Constituency. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Ben. I so second.
Honorable amended.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dodi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Shimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I'm amending this to prayer 1 to read, urge Federal Minister of Finance and Federal Minister of Health to include the funding of the Federal Medical Center, Makodi, in the 2022 budget estimates. 2, also mandate the House Committee on Appropriation as well as House Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move.
Those, any seconder to the amendment? Everybody. What was your amendment that everybody wants to second?
The amendment, I amended the 2 prayers. Prayer 1 is to read, urge Federal Minister of Finance and Federal Minister of Health to include the funding of the Federal Medical Center Makodi in the 2022 budget estimate. Then prayer 2, also mandate House Committee on Appropriation as well as House Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance.
Yes, very important. Clerk, let the letter go out today because they're preparing the budget. If they're going to include it in the budget estimates, it has to go out to them today, to latest tomorrow. Somebody has to second his Honorable amendment. Okay, Chibo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Ameja Hababa is my name. Chibok Damboa Goza Federal Constituency is where I represent. I rise to second an amendment duly and ably moved by the minority leader of the House, Right Honorable Elumelu. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please make sure that letter goes out today, the resolution of the House. Those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 15th order of the day is a motion on need to investigate the deteriorating condition of Nigerian police training colleges, standing in the name of Honorable Zayed Ibrahim. Honorable Ibrahim is invited to move the motion. Where's Honorable Ibrahim? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Zayed Ibrahim is my name, representing Igabi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kaduna State. My motion before me, Mr. Speaker, is on the need to investigate the deteriorating condition of Nigerian police training colleges. The House notes that, sequel to the federal government initiatives and commitment to tackle the shortage of manpower and the prevalent menace of insecurity afflicting the nation, the President, Muhammadu Buhari, approved the recruitment of 60,000 police personnel across the 774 local government areas, translating into 10,000 personnel in a year. The House recalled that Inspector General of Police on the 15th September 2021 revealed that the 2020 recruitment exercise has not been actualized. Therefore, 20,000 personnel are expected to be recruited before the end of this year. The House, aware that in September 2019, the Senate summoned the Honorable Minister of Police Affairs over the deteriorating conditions of the colleges, with most of them dilapidated states and inadequate to conveniently and efficiently accommodate the trainees of such magnitude. Cognizant of the effect on the health, morale, and productivity of trainees, urgent steps need to be taken in accordance with the provision of Section 9, subsection D, E, and F of the Nigerian Police Act to renovate the facilities at the police training colleges. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Police Affairs to investigate the matter and report back within 2 weeks. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Obina Chidoka, please second. Please second and tell the House what you are seconding.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obina Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South, Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I rise this afternoon to second the motion as moved by my honorable colleague, and I pray that we should consider it expeditiously. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
He's studying. I can see him reading and studying. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 16th order of the day is a motion on devastating effect of floods caused by heavy rainfall in Offa. In Ifelodu, Offa, OU Federal Constituency, Kwara State, standing in the name of Honorable Tijani Kade Ishmael. Honorable Ishmael is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Highly respected colleagues. My name is Tijani Kade Ishmael. I represent the good people of Ifelodu, Offa, OU Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kwara State. I rise to move a motion on the devastating effect of flood in Offa, Urago, Erinle, and Share under my constituency. The House notes that Orago, Erile, Ofa, and Shahara community in the Felodun, Ofa, Oyun Federal Constituency of Kwara State are heavily populated community who are predominantly farmers and traders. Also note that on 22 September 2021, there was a downpour in the communities leading to heavy rain flooding, which destroyed livestock and property. Further note that the flood destroyed farms and 35 fish ponds worth over 30 million naira. A hotel along Station Road and community around Okepata in Erile, Urago in Okeonyo, respectively. Resolve. Urge the House urge National Emergency Management to mobilize to the affected areas, provide relief material to the victim. Mandate the Committee on Disaster Management and Preparedness to visit the affected area and quantify the level of destruction to the properties and report back to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ayeni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Lawrence Babatunde Ayeni. I represent the good people of Ilesha West, Ilesha East, Atakmosa West, Atakmosa East, Osun State. I rise to support the motion moved by my colleague, Honorable Tijani. I so second.
Okay, it's a disaster motion, and we'll put the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 17th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of a specialized national dermatology hospital, the management board for the hospital, provide dermatological treatment, research and institute, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 13th July 2021. The leader will move for its consideration. This one, the one on the national dermatology, what is the, okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dodi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, this is consideration of reports that we ought to be doing on items 17 and 18. And as a member of this chamber, I do not have any report to that effect that will even say that we should consider it. So I don't know whether other members...
Oh, there's no report in circulation?
No report in circulation.
Then what are we considering?
So I think rules and business should try and...
Rules and business, what's going on?
Clerk is here to get that distributed. So we just ask for a step down so that we can get...
But office of the clerk will only distribute what... He's already shaking his head. He will only distribute what is given to him.
Exactly.
So once again, the business and rules has dropped the ball.
Oh, okay.
But you now want to shift it to the office of the clerk. We have to step down now. We don't. And look at our comrade has been here all day to take his report. So this is, it's not... It's not right. It's all right. We have to streamline and how we do things here. Well, what do we do now? Comrade, sorry about that. Yeah.
HB 1382. And other paper number 18, Committee on Tertiary Education and Services report. Report on Tertiary Education and Services, bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Education at Ogogoye, and for related matters, HB 430. Be stepped down. And so applies.
Two reports step down. Business and rules clerk, please can you guys work together so that we don't have this kind of occurrence again. Other colleagues, I'm going to adopt today's proceedings right now. Instead of waiting tomorrow, so that I will enable the clerk to speedily dispatch the letter to the Finance Ministry on the medical centers based on the resolution we had today. So I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of today, Wednesday, 29 September 2021. Who's going to move for adjournment? Honorable Babangida, please move for adjournment.
Federal Constituency from Katsina State, I hereby move that this House will adjourn till tomorrow, 30th September by 11 a.m. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Obina, what do you want? What do you want, Honorable Obina?
Want to second the adjournment. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
No, wait now. I haven't given you the mic. There is an APC man putting his hand up behind you.
What does he want to say?
There's an APC man putting his hand up behind you.
Joint task force.
So it is joint task, I agree.
Yes.
So adjournment of the house is a task?
It's a task.
That's routine procedure.
He has nothing to say, sir.
And you've already activated his microphone.
Those in support that Honorable Obina second the motion to adjourn the House, please say aye.
Aye.
Those in support that Honorable Chinedu, please second the motion to adjourn the House, please say aye.
Nay. I've won.
Honorable Obina, second the motion of adjournment. Honorable Chinedu, third the motion. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obina Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South, Federal Constituency of Anambra State, and a member of the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria. I hereby, by your instruction and your permission, second the motion that this House do stand adjourned till 11 a.m. tomorrow, Thursday. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
In the spirit of joint task, Honorable Chinedu, please third the motion.
But we have to amend the rule. Order, sir. We have to amend the rules for him to third.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. By God's grace, is coming to APC, Mr. Speaker, because we are taking over his state. I remain Honorable Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen.
So I said you should third the motion. You too, you want to third the motion. Is there any such thing as third motion? How about
shut up.
How about Chinedu? How about?
Sorry,
is there any
Mr.
such thing as third motion? Those in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.